Hello and welcome everybody to the Twins Off Daily podcast brought to you by twinsdaily.com. How the heck are you, Twins territory? I am Sweet Lou Hennessy and I am here with Greg Masterson. We are the skeleton crew for today's episode. Cody is still locked up in jail. He is dead to us. Greg, what's going on, man?
Is it too early to say that the season is over if they don't sweep the Angels? Yes. I feel like right now, I don't know. I feel like every time the Twins start a new series, my immediate, my gut thought or my overall state of mind is, well, they've got to sweep them. And I don't think that that's a good mental space to be in, but I've just got to put it out there for all the listeners. It's okay if you also feel like that. But by golly, I feel like the Twins have to sweep the Angels, and I don't like feeling like that right now.
It's understandable. The on the field product hasn't been very inspiring in these first 4 weeks or so. But I feel like I keep panicking whenever they drop the ball, and then I look up at the calendar and it's still April, and they're 6 games out of first place right now. Like I said, don't get me wrong.
I don't know. I'm a good baseball fan. I don't check the standings until is it Labor Day or Memorial Day? I can't remember which one's in May.
Memorial Day.
Good for you. Know your days.
Good. Yeah, no, like I said, the on the field product, not super inspiring. I get why everybody would be frustrated. And people keep using the analogy of if this was a football season, we'd be in the second quarter of game 2 or something like that. And I appreciate that. I think it's reassuring, and it doesn't help when we just keep getting the same product over and over and over again. After that, what they say, it takes your brain 21 times in a row to form a habit or something like that. I feel like I've heard that before, and we've seen 21 games. We're about to that point where it's we're starting to see some big trends here.
I need to stop you before you give any more pseudoscience.
Yeah.
21. Come on now. That's not real. Next, you're going to tell me that you only use 10% of your brain, right?
Ooh.
If you just unlock the other 90%, you could make things float in front of you, man.
Have you not seen Limitless? Please, that was based on a true story. Anyway, speaking of true stories, we are here. We are with you. It is not an off day. This is a Twins on Daily podcast. We missed the one on Monday, right after Easter Sunday. Greg and I were too full of ham and chocolate, and we were put on the IL for that reason. But we're happy to talk.
Cody was protesting God.
Yes, he was. He absolutely.
That's why he
was.
Couldn't come.
That's why he couldn't be here. He's atoning for his sins, of which we have many, it turns out, on this podcast. Why don't I talk about our walk-off question here? This is one that Greg came up with, and it was, what can the Twins do besides simply win more if they want to improve their attendance numbers? I want to say that their last 5 games have all been under 15,000 at the at the ballpark. That's pretty brutal. And a lot of these games are you can tell there's a lot fewer people than is the announced attendance. So we will think about some ways that the Twins can get some more fans into the ballpark without simply just saying, oh, they got to win more. They got to have a better product, which of course that's answer 1A and 1B. Okay. Well, why don't we jump on down over and we will go into a rapid recap. Okay, so we are recording this on Thursday evening. The Twins failed to sweep the godless Chicago White Sox, as Randball Stu likes to call them. So let's talk about our takeaways from them getting swept out of Atlanta, woof, and then going 2-1 against the Chicago White Sox. They now find themselves with a record of 9-16, and they are in 4th place in the division. Let's talk about it, Greg. Who's not? What do you want to talk about first?
Well, who's not is everybody. I mean, I just want to start at the top. This was a couple of series that the Twins really needed to do well with. Going into the Atlanta series, there was 3 teams with worse record than the Twins, and it was Atlanta and Chicago. Am I getting my facts correct on that?
Something like that.
Atlanta was basically in the same spot as the Twins, and the White Sox are the godless Chicago White Sox. And to go 2-4, that just Oh my gosh. Like that, obviously, like I don't want to overreact. There is still like 140 games left this season.
Sure.
But gosh dang it, did it feel like they really needed to at least go 3-3, preferably 4-2 or 5-1.
Right.
Losing a game against the White Sox is rough. However, I don't think that we can have any discussion about the Twins right now without first talking about Luke Keaschall. He has been more than advertised. Absolutely. He has been making contact with everything. He has put together really professional plate appearances. Like he is only swinging at strikes. He's making contact when he swings and the balls are falling. I mean, he's been really impressive. And then once he's on base, I did not expect Luke Keaschall to be moving like he is. I don't exactly know what his like sprint speed and everything is.
Sure.
But holy cow, has he made such a big difference on the bases, stealing bases, taking extra bases. Shout out Luke Keaschall. Like, I don't know if I could have imagined a better introduction for him, except, not making that one error at second base.
Yeah, no, that's very very apt, very good. He's exactly what they needed, and we should probably talk to Jamie Cameron and Jeremy Nygaard, our prospect gurus over at Twins Daily. Luke Keaschall is somebody that they've been excited about for sure, no doubt about it. Sounds like their description of him was always like, oh, he does kind of everything really good, but maybe he doesn't have a standout stat or two. Maybe bat to ball skills are his standout skill. But besides that, he's just mostly just like a really well-rounded player. I know that sounds really cliche to be like, oh, he's a ball player, real gritty. I like that he's got this like golden retriever energy to him. Am I making this up? I don't know. I feel like he's got this just good boy golden retriever vibe to him. What do you think?
I mean, those locks, I mean, it's hard
Yeah.
not to, I mean, he's things are going well for him. So he's smiling, he's playing with joy, and he's got those gorgeous blonde locks. Yeah, definitely a golden retriever vibe.
Yeah, you think if he like came up and sucked, we'd be like, yeah, he's got to get his hair cut, hippie. It's all in.
No respect for the game.
Yeah, no respect for the game. The kids these days. No, Keaschall has been a huge bright spot for sure. I also just want to bring up that even despite their record, the Twins starting rotation has been like very good over the last 2 weeks. They had a pretty tough first couple rounds through the rotation. And I am actually looking at the stat pack that the Twins communication department gave out at the game last night. So this is not including David Festa's start yesterday and Chris Paddock's today, 4 innings, 5 innings, 2 earned runs respectively. But in the last 13 games before that, the Twins rotation was second in all of baseball in ERA with a 2.22 ERA and a whip, walks, hits per inning pitched under 1, which is very, very good. They held their opponents to an OPS under 630. That's fantastic. They only gave up 7 home runs in those 2 weeks. All really good signs, and I just wish that the team had more to show for it. You know what I mean? Because the rotation is such a foundational building block of what this team's success is going to be, and they're doing their part, and unfortunately, they're just getting no support with it. Do you see them, carrying this on with, Pablo Lopez? They announced that Pablo's coming back on Friday. It sounds like they sent David Festa down. Salute to Festa. He did a great job in his 3 starts. What do you think, Greg? What are your thoughts on the rotation right now?
I mean, first of all, I have to say, can somebody fact check this? I don't want to hear about your stats that you're getting from the Twins direct. I think as our friend Rick Dobnak would say, where are all the fact checkers on this shit? But that is, it's so frustrating to watch them go out basically every night and at least keep the team in the game. At worst, they're keeping the team in the game, except, Joe Ryan had a Joe Ryan start. But other than that, for the most part, it's been really positive what they've been able to do with the rotation. The bullpen's let them down. The lineup has let them down. I don't think that they're going to be like you said, top 2, long term. Yeah. I think that this is a rotation that has the top end. Like they don't have an ace. But they have good top end starters. They have good depth. this should be a long-term asset for them all year. If only the rest of the team could, pick up the slack.
Yeah. You know what really stinks too? You brought up the bullpen, which has cost the team a couple of games, but it's like it's feast or famine. I feel like they have three guys that come out and just become absolute buzzsaws and strike out two or three guys and have really clean innings, and then they have someone like Griffin Jax having a rough couple games and really coughing it up, or Jorge Alcala, or you know what I mean? It's just like it seems like there's one guy that really blows up and the rest have been pretty solid, but they like take turns doing it, and so that's frustrating, right? So
Jorge Alcala at this point might be their long reliever.
Yeah,
I think he's back in that territory again, which is just Groundhog Day. But yeah, like looking at their bullpen hierarchy, it's like, oh, actually, I don't really know who they have behind Jorge Alcala. So at that point, it's just let him throw until the arm falls off, because they don't have like that shuttle arm right now.
I posted the who is it, Dolph Lundgren and Rocky, the if he dies, he dies. I posted that in the Twins Daily Slack. And honestly, that's what it feels like sometimes. I think he threw like 41 pitches today, and this is a guy with a history of elbow issues, and he, has a pretty violent motion and throws in the upper 90s. Having him throw 41, 42 pitches in the freezing rain today, it's like they're just waiting for his arm to fall off and them to be like, oh, okay, well, we'll call the next guy up. But it's funny.
They missed their last chance to send him down early in the season. I thought that they might just send him down for old time's sake, just to do it one last time, share one more Jorge Alcala demotion, but he's now got the right to refuse options because of service time. And I guess he's going to just throw.
I guess. But you know what? I said the same thing last April when they were kind of doing this too. They would give him multiple innings and they would move Cole Sands into a 1 inning role, which I kind of thought should have been reversed. But I think I kind of ended up being wrong, because Cole Sands ended up being a really standout 1 inning reliever. And Jorge Alcala, after April, had like a 3-month stretch where he was pretty dominant too, until the season fell apart for everybody in late August. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. I was really encouraged to see Brock the Glock Stewart showing back up. Hopefully he can stay healthy. His fastball, I think he was buzzing around 94, 95, 96, somewhere around there. So hopefully he still is, regaining some of that strength, because a back end with Duran, who I think has been very good. He walked a few guys and got into some trouble the other night, but was able to get out of it. Besides that, I think he's been much better than a lot of people expected. Griffin Jax looks like he's finding his footing again. He had back-to-back appearances that were very encouraging. Sweet Lou Varland might just be the X factor at the back end there. Brock Stewart, this bullpen should be good. That's the really frustrating thing, right? Like those are 4 guys, and I didn't even bring up Cole Sands. Those are 4 or 5 guys that you should be really comfortable with, and you can like mix and match. It's just so frustrating.
Danny Coulomb has not given up a run all year.
Coulomb. Yeah, no, he's been absolutely stellar too. Any of those guys, I feel like you should be comfortable with a lead in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning, but therein lies the problem. They do not have enough leads going into those late innings. So,
and even if they do, it's like a 1-run lead. And so it's like everybody, like any reliever, I mean, even if you were a very good reliever, you're going to have, I don't know, like a very good reliever could have an ERA in the high 1s, like just under 2. That means like, I don't know, every 3 or 4 outings, they're going to give up a run.
Yeah.
And so like, you're not like, even if you were a great reliever, unless you're like last year's Emmanuel Clase, like, you are going to give up a run every few games, or a couple runs every couple weeks, whatever. And so if you have so little room, I mean, it's been so rough with this offense. And honestly, if you look at their actual like nominal output, like the individual hitters, they actually have not been bad at all. Like not at all. They have not been bad. Like, Larnach has been really good over the last week.
Yep.
Buxton, Jeffers have both turned it on. Even like guys like Lee and France and Correa, who you want to see more from, they're not like they have not been bad. They have been more mediocre, right?
Yeah.
It's not like they are completely falling, like nobody has any idea what they're doing, but they, like, in the first 3 innings last night, left 8 men on base.
Yeah.
They loaded the bases 3 times and scored 1 run. So it's not just like their individual output. Like I said, like especially Larnach, I've been really excited to see how he's been playing over this last week. But the inability to actually get the hits that they need to has been just completely absent. And it's really frustrating to watch because they're almost there. They're knocking on the door to scoring runs. And then, I mean, today, what was it? They got 2 guys on. Correa struck out. I can't even remember.
It's always the same pattern. It's always like a strikeout, an infield pop up, and then just a routine grounder. You know what I mean? It's always
not even a productive out.
Right. And so
you can't even get like a sac fly out of it. It's so frustrating.
It's very frustrating, but to me, it feels like the water is starting to boil. The water is starting to boil here in that there's so much traffic on the base paths, and it is an issue that they're not coming around to score. Don't get me wrong, but that traffic is a good thing, and you got to think that that's going to lead to runs, especially considering the fact that they've been very good base running so far. They're one of the best teams in the league with base running. So
don't let your uncle hear that.
Yeah, no.
Your uncle's going to hate to hear that, but they actually have been.
I'm sure my uncle hates so much about this team. I guarantee it.
My uncle can't watch. He doesn't have the package, and he just calls to complain about their batting average 3 times a week. Yeah, like
when he gets the box score in the newspaper.
No. He's like, they got to fire the hitting coach. I'm like, they just fired the hitting coach. This is the new guy.
They just did. What do you think about Carlos Correa's comments that he had post-game today? I think it was Dan Hayes of The Athletic asked him, hey, are you dealing with any injury right now? You know, he came out of the game a couple weeks ago with I think it was a wrist kind of ailment that he's been dealing with, a little bit of soreness in his left wrist. He said today, he's like, that's not anything. I'm not dealing with any pain right now. I'm just dealing with my swing sucks. What do you think about that comment? And does it give you hope that he's going to start improving, or is it more troubling that it's not an injury according to him, that is affecting his swing?
I don't know. I feel like I'm going to break several of my rules. The first one is caring at all what a player says in a press conference, because
fair.
Who cares? They just make it up I know I'm talking to somebody with press credentials and I need to take it seriously. However, I don't know if I've ever taken anything seriously out of a baseball player's mouth, unless it's like factual something.
Yeah.
I don't want it. I like whatever explanation he has for himself. That's great. At the same time, I don't know, man. It's really easy to connect dots with the fact that he is hitting everything straight into the dirt, and he was removed from a game with wrist problems, and he is. He said that he's had a bad wrist for like 8 months.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me personally to not just say, I think there's something wrong with his wrist. And also if it's been going on for 8 months, I don't know what the horizon, if there's an end game to this. I don't know. Sure. I would love to hear that he's just feeling out of whack and something's just not clicking for him.
Yeah.
And he thinks that, I would be super encouraged to know that. At the same time, I have trouble, I guess, believing that it's something that's going to be fixed quickly. And I mean, he's not early in the season, there was a lot of hard contact and it was right at people. That's not happening nearly as much anymore. And on top of that, when he does have hard contact right into the ground, I don't know. What's your vibe on this?
Yeah, like you said, the interesting thing is that Carlos is always one of the more vocally analytical people. He really dives into some of the baseball savant stuff, and not to say that baseball savant is gospel, that's all you should look at, but it is a useful tool when looking at some of the properties of these guys' swings or some of the just output that they have been showing so far. I don't know if it's necessarily predictive, but it's not pretty right now and on his baseball savant page, and he's going to be no stranger to that. I'm really curious if, if this wrist thing is an issue for him, if there is an injured list stint on the horizon. If there was in the near term, that means Brooks Lee is playing like literally every day, every inning at shortstop, probably, right? I don't think there's Willie Castro's on the IL now. Uh, that
Jonah Bride, get ready to learn Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, for real. Get ready to learn starting third baseman. Royce Lewis is starting his rehab assignment tomorrow with the Saints. He's itching to get back in there. That hopefully, if we get the Royce Lewis of old, that could be a huge boost for this team, and hopefully just pick some people up out of their slumps here. But it maybe when Royce comes back, Carlos goes on the IL. I don't know. I don't know if this is like a rest thing that he needs to get off his feet for a little bit, but they need him back. It's he, especially because he's playing every game still. I don't think he's had like a day off since that injury since he came out that day. He's starting most games at shortstop, and his defense is looking pretty good. He was hitting a lot of doubles, but still no home runs. There's signs there, but he every time it seems like he shows some signs, he just keeps dipping here. But while we're on the topic here, Greg, we talked about all the guys that are in their slumps right now. Some guys are showing signs of life. Last year at this time, Willie Castro and Carlos Santana were both hitting like sub 200 with an OPS in the 500s or 600s, and they both ended up having really successful seasons last year for the most part. Is there anybody on this team, any one or two guys that you think like, okay, we're going to look back and be like, oh, remember when this guy was having a terrible April and now he's a fixture in our lineup? Anybody giving you those vibes right now?
I mean, I think the easy one is Correa for
Sure.
that.
I
don't know. What?
Oh, just you brought up Trevor Larnach, and Trevor Larnach has been starting to hit the ball really well this past week here. And I think he's going to be somebody that they really rely on. I think even when Matt Wallner comes back, which I don't know if we have much of an update on him, but I'd like to see Trevor Larnach maybe get more of those opportunities near the top of the lineup. I don't know what to think about Eddie Julian. He's been kind of up and down this year too, and they've been playing him a lot in the leadoff spot there. If they want a lefty in the top three of the lineup, I most of my trust is going to Trevor Larnach right now.
Okay, I mean, I guess if you just throw Matt Wallner out, I would say probably. Well, he's also the only really competent lefty on this roster right now. Like, unless you want to throw Brooks Lee up there, which
Sure.
He has not been producing. Castro's injured. Mickey Gasper is Mickey Gasper. Deshaun Kersey is Deshaun Kersey. Like, it's I don't know. I think that there could be definitely not a second half Trevor Larnach, but just like a bad start Trevor Larnach. He is almost back to a league average hitter already after starting as bad as he did. By OPS, he's getting very close to being league average on the season. I don't know. I guess if we're talking about people who are not hitting well and we think could, I guess Ty France, if he's just in a slump right now, because he's about a league average hitter by this point in the season after having, he was player of the week. Only other name, I don't know, maybe Ryan Jeffers could potentially, but for a lot of this lineup, I just want them to be like average-ish hitters and keep the line moving. That's kind of like not my hope, but my realistic hope for a lot of these guys.
It shouldn't be that much
outside of the top five.
Right.
It should not be a huge ask for Brooks Lee and Willie Castro and Edouard Julien to be just league average hitters. It should not be a huge ask for Ryan Jeffers to be a league average hitter.
Right.
And hopefully some of those guys are trending in that way. Brooks Lee is off to a really bad start. He's also injured. So I don't know how much you can just say he's been bad this season.
I don't know if Brooks Lee's off to a bad start. I mean, it's a very small sample size. Right, a lot of singles and doubles, but he's got a 720 OPS in his limited time here. But like you said, there's so many guys that are just right around league average, but it just seems like none of them can do it all at the same time. One of them's always going up and one of them's always going down, it feels like. So
which might just be what average is.
It's right. But if we just need all our pieces pointed in the same direction at the same time with the starting rotation, the bullpen, and the hitting. But guess what? That's what every single team is trying to do. Okay,
I do want to ask you this, since we probably won't meet to record before Royce Lewis comes back. Would you be open to, like, if you were the Twins management, Rocco, whatever? Would you be open to, when Royce comes back, not sending down Lee, Julian, or Keaschall, and moving maybe like Gasper? Probably have Gasper be the move for Lewis, and then play with one of those guys, like one of your infielders, on the bench every day. Like, essentially, Brooks Lee becomes your utility infielder.
Yeah.
Plays most days. Keaschall and Julian split second base. Naturally, Julian doesn't play versus lefties.
Yeah.
Royce Lewis is going to get a lot of run at third base. He's probably also going to get a lot of run at DH. So Julian or Keaschall would sit those days. Would you be open to that?
I would be very open to that. I think that might be the play. I think that might honestly be what needs to happen. That you could get Carlos
best team up.
You could get Correa a couple either days off or days as DH. Royce is most likely going to need a couple of DH days per week. You got to think. I'm very curious. I'm looking at our Twins off daily bingo card. How close? What needs to happen for us to see Luke Keaschall, first baseman? That could be exciting, And nothing against Ty France. France has been playing okay. He's been fine. Like you said, he's one of those guys that are kind of right around average, and his defense has been mostly okay. It's not his fault that pitchers don't know how to throw to first base. But Luke Keaschall, imagine, like, I'm just picturing, like Royce Lewis at third, Carlos Correa at short, Brooks Lee at second, and Luke Keaschall at first. That's pretty exciting. Like, I think that could be a fun little infield if they mixed and matched there. I don't know. I still think that, obviously long-term Keaschall is probably a second baseman, maybe an outfielder, but I'm not going to pretend like he doesn't have an absolute noodle arm right now while he's still recovering from his surgery. People were lauding over this throw that he made the other night from right behind second base.
Yes.
And he made the play. Good on him. It had plenty, and it had enough on it that he got the out, and that's what's important. But I'm not going to pretend like that was some impressive throw. I was holding my breath there.
Yes. I definitely bit my tongue watching that.
Yeah.
Terrified, because he had to put his whole body into that thing.
Yeah.
It was a full in the hole it's short type throw, and it's because he's a step on the other side of second base.
Yeah. No, like I said, good on him. He made the play. That's what's important, but I'm not going to pretend like I'm comfortable over there with him throwing too often. And I do not see him playing the outfield anytime soon. I could be wrong about that. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what's in store for our little golden retriever, Mr. Luke Keaschall. What do we say? Why don't we look at that Twins off daily bingo card right now? Actually, let's pull that up. We have a few that have already been crossed off. We do not have a Christian Vasquez triple yet. Matt Wallner wall damage. He flirted with some before getting them. MV Prelip Twitter suspension. I do not believe he has one.
I think he suspended himself briefly. I think he said he's not tweeting until. I think it was something ridiculous. There's a quality start that's not Pablo Lopez, and the Twins score 5 runs in the same night, and he disappeared for 2 weeks.
Yeah, good luck, man. Pablo Lopez, wholesome moments. They're probably. Oh, he had one today, actually. He held a press conference for all the employees' kids who were there for Take Your Kid to Work Day. I think that's pretty wholesome. So I'm going to give him.
Yeah, and he give the gas station sushi story or whatever it was. He bought the whole team gas stations, Iowa sushi, however you want to state it.
Okay. When I heard that, I thought it was they say there's a Minnesota sushi, and it's pickles filled with cream cheese and wrapped with something nasty.
Ham.
And they call that ham. And they call that Minnesota sushi. I thought Iowa sushi was going to be corn wrapped in hay or something. I don't know, but yeah, I thought it was an actual knockoff thing. Comrade Cody, accidental capitalist. He's in jail right now, so we'll see if he makes bail. Player's wife retweets something controversial. I haven't
Gabby
seen it.
did have a heck of a quote tweet about a
Yes.
week ago. We don't have to get into it, but she
Yep.
definitely dunked on a member of Twins coverage, let's say that.
Yes. That's all we need to say about it, I think. Greg face reveal, not yet.
Nope.
We're still waiting on that. Brief nudity, not quite. We'll keep that on the board. Hot mic catches profanity. That one was instantly. I think Jordan Walker of the St. Louis Cardinals was caught swearing.
We had one last night. I don't know if you caught it last night. Did Bader get hit by a pitch, maybe?
Yes. Yep.
And they said, let's listen to that.
Oh, no, it's Keaschall. Keaschall got
Keaschall.
Hit. Yep. Deshaun Kiersey involved in a walk-off. Let's see, he was not in that walk-off, I don't think.
No.
Michael Tonkin DFA, he's been on the injured list. Michael Tonkin reacquired on the injured list. Sweet Lou parody account taken seriously. Oh boy, did I need that one today. My latest parody piece got ruffled some feathers.
Depends on what you mean by seriously.
Yeah.
People were pretty serious in their responses.
Yes, they were. They did not appreciate it. Animal interrupts game. Haven't had that yet. At Twins Twitter subtweet. They said today, or no, maybe it was last night after Larnach hit his home run. They said, home run for Trevor Larnach, or whatever you call him, and that was clearly a reference to the Larchad meme.
We can chuck that one off. Yep.
Is Chris Paddock a twin segment retired? No, not. Well, I don't know.
Everybody's favorite game, is Chris Paddock still a Twin? And as of April 24th, 2025, Chris Paddock is still a Twin. I missed this earlier in the show. You briefly mentioned Chris Paddock's outing, 2 innings, 5 runs, or not 5 runs or whatever, and I missed it. You moved on immediately, and I was like, shoot, 10 seconds late. Like it did not register with me that you mentioned Chris Paddock, and now I've been on red alert for Chris Paddock ever since, and we've just been talking hitters.
Well, there we go. I'm glad we mixed it in. Should the Twins sign Miguel Sano? I heard somebody tweeting about it.
I got some traction on that one today.
Okay, good. We might need somebody else to actually do that, because we're going to bring that up constantly. 9x9x9 challenge mentioned on the broadcast. Have not heard that yet. I've been watching a lot of the broadcast, but I think that'll happen eventually. Dan Gladden.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt. My wife was scrolling Twitter, which she rarely does, but she came across somebody who said, let's do the 9x9x9x9 challenge. And so it was 9 hot dogs, 9 beers, 9 cigarettes, and 9 innings. And I said, I would throw up, not from the hot dogs or the beer, but if you make me smoke 9 cigarettes in 2.5 hours, I'm done.
You gotta think.
Oh, my stomach hurts just thinking about that.
For real. Dan Gladden mispronounces player name multiple times. I have not heard that yet, but that one might be a gimme. Audra Martin post-game Gatorade shower casualty. They have only had really one walk-off, and I don't think she got hit with any Gatorade there. Joe Polad media gaff, not quite. Greg, help me out with that next one. It's too small for me to read. Oh, Sweet Lou Varland. Lou Varland. That
did not start a game, but Justin Topa did.
Yeah. You know what? We'll keep it on there for now, though. I am out on Carlos Correa. We have heard plenty of those so far this season. That one should probably be crossed off.
I would cross that one off.
Luke Keaschall, first baseman. I'm waiting. And the last one that everybody is waiting for, and I really hope we get across this off, is Royce Lewis redemption. The vibes on him were I'm going to say down in the dumps at the beginning of this season when he was injured yet again, how he finished last year, some of his comments about his recovery. He was not in the good graces of a lot of fans. So I hope he gets a chance to redeem himself, and he does so. Okay,
I'm sorry. I didn't know that even the poorly paid players were supposed to have a redemption. I thought that was just I didn't realize the worst paid players were also supposed to come back healthy. Can't wait for it, Royce.
Let's hope he doesn't. Let's hope he does that redemption thing. Yeah. Well, okay, good. Well, anybody else we
We're
want
making
to bring
progress.
Up? Yeah. I don't know. Do we want to talk about any minor leaguers that have caught our eye? Has anybody caught your eye, Greg?
I want to give a shout out to Mickey Gasper, minor leaguer. Mickey Gasper is now a major leaguer again. If y'all have been living under a rock, he was called up today, replacing Willie Castro, who has been AWOL for over a week. I don't know if we need to get into that, but it's very funny that they dragged that on forever. But Mickey Gasper is back to replace Willie Castro and likely sit next to Jonah Bride for, I don't know, a week while neither of them play. It is a very funny, I know I'm on a tangent before I finally give an actual shout out to Mickey Gasper, but it is very funny. Like in past years, especially like the last 2 years, Rocco Baldelli has been criticized quite heavily for having a very deep bench and everybody plays. Right now, he has 4 guys on his bench he actively avoids playing. Like right now, Christian Vasquez, it just came out today or yesterday, was it, that they are no longer going to be doing the 50-50 split behind the plate. Shout out Prime Conger for that one from our last episode, asking for that. So Christian Vasquez is not going to be like an every other day player anymore, which is a change up from like for years, honestly. Yeah. Like even pre-Christian Vasquez, they tried to do pretty every other day. Deshaun Kersey is a late game replacement. Jonah Bride has 3 plate appearances in his 1 week with the Twins. There's not really a spot for him on the infield right now. He's just there to be an emergency option at third base because they only have 2 guys on the team who can play shortstop, and without him, they would only have 1 guy who can play third base. Unless Ty France is playing third base. And now you've got Mickey Gasper, who he's a break glass in case of emergency catcher, and he did not so Rocco Baldelli does not have bench options right now. It's a very funny place to be in. Anyway, Mickey Gasper, the quintessential quad A player, was one of the best hitters in minor league baseball last year, came up for the Twins and went like 2 for 23,
something like that.
Sent down in his 4 games as a Saint this season. He has a 333 average, a 500 on base percentage, and a 1417 OPS. The man went down and hit 2 home runs in 4 games. It's so beautiful. I love players like Mickey Gasper. He's probably going to go, I don't know, 3 for 17 this time around in the majors. He will very rarely play. He will play 4 different positions potentially. But I just want to give a shout out to the quad A Mickey Gasper, the triple A version of Mickey Gasper. What a steal for the Twins, giving up only Giovanni Moran.
Anyway, what a steal.
Bit over.
Quad A boy. Okay, but the minor leaguer that has caught my eye, I'll just bring him up real quick here. I know that folks at Twins Daily are going to be writing about him this week, and that is Kyle DeBarge. He was the Twins compensation round pick last year. I want to say it was in like the 36 range, somewhere around there. He was the pick that they received for letting Sonny Gray walk. So if his reputation, if he can get to the big leagues eventually, years from now, because he still just did high A, if he gets to the majors years from now, that'll be a good success story. And if he has any success, I just want him to be known as the guy that they got for Sonny Gray. I feel like that's a fun little legacy for him to have. He's having a good year so far in his small 15 game sample size. He's got an OPS over 800, so hopefully he can keep that up and he can keep progressing, because that would be really exciting for the Twins. Speaking of exciting,
who is was it Jose Barrios? Was that guy? He was a comp pick for. Was that Kadire?
It would. No. Was it Kadire? So it would have been after the 2011 season. Did Kadire leave after that? I forget who it was.
Yeah, Kadire was done after 2011, I believe.
Okay, that sounds right. Yeah, that sounds.
It was like Kadire and Kubel.
Yeah, Jose Barrios, Kadire, Kubel guy. Okay, well, speaking of exciting, why don't we boogie on down? We'll go to everybody's favorite segment. It's an edition of Gregory's Gripes.
What
Okay, Greg always has something grinding his gears. This is his chance to get it off his chest. What do you got for us today, Greg?
Okay, so this is similar to a gripe that I had, I don't know, 5 months ago around Thanksgiving. I'm a big Peeps guy. And
Really?
Peeps is like the most slandered Easter treat, I believe. I think that people have like entire Easter personalities built around how much they hate Peeps. I think it's terrific. Nothing beats a chocolate bunny, but I don't know, Peeps are great. But even if I didn't think Peeps are great, Peeps are an Easter legacy tradition. And I think that you should eat Peeps at Easter. There's nothing fun and quirky about hating Peeps, just like even if you don't like turkey, you should eat turkey at Thanksgiving, right? If it's Easter and you're celebrating Easter and you're finding eggs or you've got a little basket and they got Peeps in it, I don't want to hear a peep from you. I want you to be a good American and eat your Peeps. They're delicious little marshmallows, and even if you hate them, it's an Easter tradition. Next thing you're going to say is, I don't eat fruitcake at Christmas. And let me tell you, just you wait until Christmas comes around, because I've got a bone to pick with people who have a problem with fruitcake. It's an Easter tradition. It's an Easter staple. It's an Easter hallmark. Eat the Peeps. Stop complaining. Don't feel like you are special because you don't love a beloved Easter snack.
Yeah. Good one. At least have one Peep. I personally, in my household, we like to open the container and let it breathe for a few days, let it stiffen up a little bit. That's how I like to eat my one.
Or in the freezer?
Maybe in the freezer.
Tried that.
Yeah, I can do that.
My father did that.
You ever put one in the microwave? It's pretty entertaining.
Yes.
So do that too. There's so many ways to enjoy these Peeps. So I think that's a good gripe. Good gripe, my man. Very well done. You know what, Greg? I think I might have one too.
Man, I'm going to take the buttons away from you. Playing the music, that's my job. If you can play the music, I'm out of work, man.
Nah. All right, so this is an edition of Lou's Gripes. Look, I've heard so many people complaining since replay came to baseball, the instant replay and the challenge system. Look, people are like, oh, I hate it when somebody steals a base and they slide off for 1 little millimeter and they get tagged out and it goes to replay and they call out. That's not what replay was made for. Yes, it is. The replay system was made to make sure that the call was right. And that is a foundational rule of baseball. If you are a base runner and you are off the base while the ball is in play and you get tagged when you are not touching the base, you are out. That is like a cornerstone of this game. If you don't want to be called out, don't slip off the base. That's the deal. I am so sick of people being like, oh, that's not what replay was made for. It's such a stupid rule that if you come up just 1 little inch off of the bag, I don't care if it's an inch or 5 feet. If you are off the base and you are tagged with the ball, you are out. And you know what? I am out on challenge replay complainers. Greg, what do you think?
I'm actually of the same opinion. I get very annoyed because that is what it's made for. I will say, though, I want to put up a tweet that I put up today mocking those people. I don't know if you...
I did not see this. I honestly did not see this.
So it was after Julian got tagged out. I said, Edouard Julien getting picked off there is after replay is not what replay was intended for. Replay is for getting obvious blown calls against the Twins right, not correcting bang calls for the other team's benefit. And if we're being honest, that's kind of what it always comes down to, is like your favorite player, his foot did come off the base for a millisecond and he got tagged out. And now you're very mad and you want to blame replay for it. No, like, I will say that like there is sort of a limit if you're gonna like. I don't think that there should be 5-minute replays. I think that there should sort of be a limit to just how closely we need to look at it. Like I'm okay with a lot of calls being just inconclusive.
Yes,
but no, like that's what it was made for. There are very few of those calls where like the only one that I can really get down with is like if somebody is like sliding into a base and like their heel hits the side of the base and kind of bounces up. And so like there's a millisecond where it's not like you overslid or anything. That's just more annoying than anything else, where it hits the lip and just like as an act of physics, like they didn't really disengage with the base, but you know, their foot just kind of comes up and then comes right back down like immediately, just how physics works. That annoys me. But at the same time, if it was off the base, it was off the base. Those are the rules.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, I'm glad you tweeted it out. That was good. That was a banger. I wish I would have seen that live. Okay, well, why don't we move on down now that we're done with our gripe, and let's talk about the closer. Okay, so for today's edition of the closer, we are going to do a couple quick rounds of 20 questions. I have thought of a Twins player. Greg he has 20 questions, and he is going to try to figure out which, I'm going to say it right now, former Twin. It's somebody who's not currently on the Twins. Which one am I thinking of? So, Greg, what do you got with your first question?
Is it Miguel Sano?
Oh, good question. It is not Miguel Sano. I should also say before we really get rolling here, Cody was pretty good at this. He got both of the rounds that I had for him within like 11 questions or something like that. Okay, so not Miguel Sano.
I was playing along at home, and I think I was around the same.
Okay, cool. Well, that's what we're aiming for. So you are down to 19 questions.
Oh dear, I'm already out. Okay, so was he managed by Paul Molitor?
No.
Was he managed by Ron Gardenhire?
Yes.
Okay. Was he a pitcher?
No.
All right. Was he an infielder?
No, and that was your fifth question.
Okay. Was he an outfielder?
Yes.
Did he primarily play center field?
No.
Was it Denard Span?
No, good guess.
Okay. So he was a guardy guy, was not primarily a center fielder. Okay. Did he bat right-handed?
Yes.
Did he have a brother in the major leagues?
Yes.
Did he ever hit an umpire with a baseball bat?
Oh, he sure did.
Was he ever traded for Matt Garza and or Jason Bartlett?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Who could this be? Is it Jim Thome? No, is it Delman Young?
It is Delman Young. You got it. I think you got it a few questions ago, but that was your 12th question. So good job there. It is Delman Young. Just some really quick fun things about Delman Young. One, he's still 39 years old, and he hasn't played in like 8 or 9 years. He is still quite young for somebody who's been retired for that long. Also, like I think of him, he had a couple really good years. Like I think he got a few MVP votes with really down ballot MVP votes with the Twins in like 2009. Mm-hmm. He had a few like really good years. He went to the Tigers as like a pretty exciting trade candidate and like excelled with them for at least a half a season. He across his career though, negative 1.4 WAR. Despite being a roughly league average hitter, he was just pretty brutal in the field. He got skinny for 1 year and was like incredible, and then just got fat again and got bad again.
Well, they put a clause in his contract. He had to make weight. I don't know if it was for bonuses or if it was literally like a vesting option in his contract. That, like if he showed up out of shape, he was just cut or something.
Dude, he had some wild experiences after being a player. Let's just say that people can go do some research on their own for some of the reports.
He has some thoughts on people groups.
Yeah, let's just say that.
The two groups that he got in trouble for being mean to are not related, and it's very funny juxtaposition. Like, not to be like problematic or anything, but yes. It is very funny that he picked a bone with these two different people groups.
Yes. Okay, Greg, do you want to do a round? Do you have a thought? Do you want to be the host?
I've got one.
Okay.
but only if you're willing to play another round for me, because that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. I am ready to go. So I will start here.
Oh no, I've got you one. I've got one in mind for you.
Okay, yeah, I'll start asking.
Yeah, sorry.
questions.
I thought you were about to ask me a question about my. Okay, sorry.
No. Okay, I'll ask the questions here. First of all, did he play for the Twins within the last 20 years?
Yes.
Okay. So since 2005, was this player a pitcher?
No.
No. Okay. Position player. Was this player an outfielder?
Yes.
Okay. Outfielder. Let's see. Did this player ever make an all-star team?
No.
Okay. Did this player bat right-handed?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Is it Josh Willingham?
No.
Oh, damn. Okay. That's my sixth question. All right. 20 years, right-handed. Did this player start more than 90 games?
As a Twin?
Yes.
No.
Oh, okay. We're getting juicy here. Did this player play for another team too?
Yes.
Okay. That didn't really help me. I don't know why I asked that.
You wanted to know if it's Zach Granite, but Zach Granite's a lefty.
How about this? Was this player on a postseason roster for the Twins?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Was this player a, former top prospect?
Ooh, I'm actually not sure.
Okay. All right.
I don't know a ton about this guy's history. I know that he was a 5th round draft pick in a year.
All right. Was this player, was he managed by Rocco Baldelli?
No.
No. Okay. Was he managed by Ron Gardenhire?
No.
Okay. So we're talking Molly. We're talking.
Okay. So to answer your question about whether this player was a top prospect, I will just tell you, the top organizational ranking that he reached was the number 8 organizational prospect by Baseball America in the St. Louis Cardinals system.
Cardinals system. Wow. Managed by Paul Molitor. Was this player a home run threat? Was he a power hitter?
No.
Okay. Not a power hitter. Cardinals.
I'll even tell you that he hit 0 home runs as a Minnesota Twin.
0 home runs as a Minnesota Twin. Was it Rene Tassoni?
No.
Oh, that's a good pull. That would have been
that is a good one.
I was shooting the moon. I was aiming for the moon with that one. Did this player finish his career with the Twins?
No.
Okay. Oh boy, I am running out of options here. I don't know, man. I'm used to being the host here. I don't know if I could.
Could you try to figure out what his position is?
Was this
He's a hitter?
Was there a center fielder? I hope you're looking this up.
Yeah, I'm okay. So he played pretty evenly across the outfield for his career, but he was mostly a left fielder for the Twins in his 1 year with the Twins.
This is going to be a deep pull, Greg. This is a harder one.
I know. I like bullying.
Yeah, it seems like it. I don't know, man. This is bad radio. I think I might just have to tap out at 15 questions here. Who
Shane Robinson.
Sugar Shane Robinson. That is a good pull. That is a good pull. People loved Sugar Shane.
I thought that might be top of mind. I thought that there was a chance we could get that one. I felt like we had a 50-50 of getting to that one. But
if I didn't, I feel like I just need more questions.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. I thought that I was looking up Jordan Schaefer. And then I started, and then I was looking at Shane Robinson's BREF page and realized, I've got to do Shane Robinson instead.
Yeah.
Jordan Schaefer, is that right? He was the opening day center fielder on the 2015 Twins.
I don't remember if it was opening day, but he was definitely part of those clubs there in 2015, 2016, somewhere around there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, that was a really fun edition of 20 questions. I am going to have to do some studying because I'd like to get better at that. But why don't we move on down to the post-game high fives? Our walk-off question, what should the Twins do besides just win more if they want to attract more fans into Target Field? The attendance has been quite low lately. Greg, what do you got? What's your idea for getting fans back in?
I mean, I have to start with bringing back Tom Kelly. Naturally, that's the only thing that fans want to see is Tom Kelly managing the ball club. Beyond that, I think that they could ritually sacrifice TC Bear on the pitcher's mound. I think that could potentially bring eyeballs.
It's worth a shot.
I say that, I do want to say, because TC tweeted about me when asked about a week ago, and I want to make clear, I'm not talking about the person inside of the TC Bear costume. I am talking about the bear itself.
Yeah.
I don't want any harm to befall the guy or multiple guys who wear the costume. However, it would be great if TC Bear was sacrificed. I also think that they should start giving away tickets with soup cans, like they used to do for the Timberwolves.
Oh, yeah,
you buy 4 cans of corn, you get a nosebleed ticket. I think that might help.
Honestly, yeah, that would be a great idea. Get people into the game. They're still going to have to spend $100 on their concessions or their merch that they get. There's all these seats that are just wasted. Baseball's biggest issue, if you ask me, is just like access and ease of access. My idea, I guess a serious one, I brought it up multiple times, is that I think that kids should get into the ballpark for free with a paying adult. I think that would instill a passion for the game with all these happy memories and experiences that they have as a kid. And then when they are of age, they're going to want to keep going to baseball games, and they'll be paying then. So that's my real answer. Boy, it's hard to argue against sacrificing TC Bear at the pitcher's mound. Maybe having Tom Kelly light that fire. That would be kind of fun. Have him stroll out there when they have the team Hall of Fame. When they have the team Hall of Fame thing, when they make the guys walk out, these like 100-year-old guys from like left field, and it takes them forever. He's walking out with a torch to go torch TC Bear. Okay, I'm in. That would get me to the stadium for sure. For sure. Okay, well that was.
I don't know. I think that they need a 6th bar. This might be a semi-gripe. Yeah. But I'm a little bit annoyed by baseball stadiums just being treated as like a cover charge to go to the bar.
Yeah, I agree. That can be.
Is that fair?
That's fair. Especially because the names of the bars are just like not that clever either. Truly on deck. I don't like that name.
Do you not believe it?
They have like
it truly is on deck.
Yeah, it was bat and barrel before. There's been, all these other things that are just do not have a good ring to them. Okay, why don't we talk about our next show? The Twins don't have an off day for another like 10 days here, so you will probably get another on daily episode sometime in the middle of next week. Hopefully, Comrade Cody will be out of the clink by then. We would love to be joined by him. Otherwise, we will probably have a few guests coming in here soon, and some other exciting announcements with the Twins Off Daily podcast. So I hope that you all keep sharing our business here. We love having you here. We love doing the show. It's been super fun. We'd love to get more people involved. So please tell your friends. Please get other people involved. I promise it'll be worth it. We will. We'll keep having some fun, even if the Twins still struggle on the field. Greg, anything you want to say? Anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
I mean, if I could just filibuster for like another 30 seconds, we will have inadvertently gone an hour on a show that we intended to make like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So that was not maybe the best planning on our part. My dinner is freezing cold at this point. No, I ate dinner before I came over here. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't written all that much at Twins Daily over the last few weeks. It's been a busy time in the Masterson household, but
fair enough.
Shout out to Sweet Lou with his Just for Fun today that went over really well.
That went over super well with people of my own faith, mind you. Like, so please go check that out. Please check out everybody's work at twinsdaily.com. But on behalf of Greg Masterson, I am Sweet
and
Lou.
Rest in peace, the Pope.
And rest in peace, the Pope. Rest in peace, Papa Francisco. May his memory and legacy be a true blessing. Thank you all, and stay sweet.